Multiple Minnesotans are opening up about the harms and impacts against the COVID-19 mandates. On Wednesday, Minnesota GOP House representatives explained an urgent bill to protect citizens from what they call unconstitutional and medically irresponsible COVID-19 vaccine mandates.
On April 13th, last year, my whole life changed within 30 hours. Sorry.
Within 30 hours, Suzanna Newell says her body went from being athletic to constant debilitating pain, unable to perform even the simplest tasks.
My primary doctor filled out the Pfizer paperwork and said my symptoms are from the vaccine. I've yet to hear from Pfizer. This is not a pandemic of the unvaccinated. This is a pandemic of trauma.
After a year, Newell's symptoms have gotten worse. Kate Zerby says she developed unexplained health conditions after receiving the jab.
I was later found to have heart enlargement and atrial fibrillation that I never had before. An abrupt change that my doctor felt, along with everything I had been dealing with, had to have come from the vaccine, and she told me, "Thank God you didn't get the second one."
As for 6-year-old Milo Edberg, he hasn't been the same alert and walking child since developing myocarditis from the COVID shot. Milo's story first featured in Alpha News in January.
Because the doctors kept pushing me, oh, he's at high risk, you need to get this. And I wasn't really wanting to get it because I felt like it came on too quickly, it was made too quickly, we didn't know side effects. But I went against my gut and I told the doctor, let's do it. And unfortunately, it didn't do well for him.
One by one, Minnesotans shared the horrific results of doing what they were told was safe and effective.
Whether you're pro-vax or anti-vax or whatever, we're for healthcare freedom. And we believe that mandates, one size fits all, should not be the agenda.
Representative Gruenhagen introduced a bill last month which in part would protect Minnesotans from being coerced to take what he calls an experimental vaccine and improve healthcare providers' reporting to the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting Systems, or VAERS.
Federal agency heads now admit that the vaccine mandates are not protecting Americans from COVID-19.
According to COVID VAERS reports, through April 8th, there have been more than 17,000 reports of adverse events from the jab in Minnesota alone.
And I have talked to well over 500 nurses and respiratory therapists. I have 3 of those that I've talked to. One literally fell apart emotionally on the phone, screaming and crying, swearing, this guy never swears, of how bad it is and what's going on in these hospitals. That many of these supposed COVID patients are actually COVID vaccine injured patients.
Several Minnesotans have shared their vaccine injured stories to staff members at Governor Walz's office, but they say there has been no response. Alpha News also did not hear back from the governor's office.
There are 17,000 doctors are screaming from the rooftops, this program has got to stop. And yet we press on.